Today I wanted to make a video which is a little bit different to most of the laser sailing content that you will see on YouTube. So today I am making a video reviewing some of my training footage, me and a training partner, from when we were training a couple of years ago in a spot here in Queensland called Mooloolaba, which is on the Sunshine Coast. This is a venue which is well known for having pretty big swell, like big ocean swell, and we're going to be talking about how you can sail faster in big ocean swell, and specifically how you can use the waves to surf for as long as possible and get as much speed out of the waves as you can. Because sailing in downwind in swell is quite a bit different than sailing downwind in like a sort of wind chop, because with swell you'll often find that the waves are going a different direction to true downwind, but you'll also find that they are moving a lot faster than a normal wind chop. So if you have the ability to surf some big waves, you could gain an extra 2 or 3 knots of boat speed just by staying on that wave for as long as possible. But then there's a bit of an art in figuring out how do you turn that boat speed into VMG downwind. So I've got 2 different clips that we're going to go through today. I'm going to play the clip, and as we go along I'm going to stop and I'll comment on something, sort of like what you would do in a regular debrief after a training session. So we're just going to go through the first clip we have here. So this is on like the first or second day of this camp, and the swell hadn't quite built up to the point that we'll see in the next video yet, but still pretty big. Definitely a ton of surfing opportunities out there. It's probably 15 to 18 knots in this video, so you'll see me here in the full rig or the Ilka 7, and you'll see my training partner Fraser in the radial or the Ilka 6 here. So I'll play the video and I'll just stop anytime there's something interesting or something worth chatting about. So something you'll see here is Fraser using what we call a big drop pump. So that's when you release the main sheet and then suddenly catch it, which causes the leech of the sail to flick. And he's using that when he's going by the lee to try and get on this wave which is coming up behind him now, and it works pretty effectively. So you'll see it here, he releases the main sheet and you see the leech flick, and then the boat takes off, and now he's got this nice big wave here that he can surf and try and maximize his speed on. So you just saw me there doing a little upturn to try and catch this wave here, and the thing you would have noticed is that when I do my turn, it's very gradual and very sort of deliberate. So I'm not just pressing into the boat and trying to force it to suddenly turn up. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to be really gentle with it and just gradually bring the boat up, because if you are trying to change the direction of the boat too quickly, it's just going to slow down and you'll have no chance of catching the wave. And when you can sort of milk the boat up onto the wave, or sort of, up onto the wave in this case, then you basically minimize the speed you lose by turning, and it's going to keep you with a higher average speed and then help you surf easier, because you'll be able to catch the wave better since your boat speed's higher. And then you'll see as soon as I've got the wave, I'm just starting to bear away now, because I want to take the speed from the wave and basically go straight down the wave towards downwind. And so you'll see me now going downwind with the wave, and then as soon as I start slowing down, that's when I'm changing direction to try and find another steep part of the wave to keep surfing. So the thing is, in these big swell conditions, it's really important to be looking both sides of you a lot, because you really need to see where the steepest part of the wave is to be able to get towards that and then use that steep part of the wave to stay surfing and maximize your speed downwind. And so you'll see here Fraser actually probably makes a little bit of a mistake, because this wave here that he's on, you can see over here it's looking really steep, but at the moment he's sort of doing a downturn, so he's heading in this direction, whereas if he was to turn up here, he'd probably go straight into this, straight onto the face of the wave here and be surfing towards the trough of it, so he'd be at like maximum speed because his boat's like this on the wave essentially. So now if he heads up, he's going to be right on the face of the wave at the tallest point. Yep, now we see him do a little bit of an upturn, but at that point he decided to keep going by the lee, and you see that he's now essentially fallen off that wave. And so now he needs to build speed again and try and find a new wave. So it's really important in these conditions to do everything you can to try and stay on the waves, because those waves, they're giving you like 2 or 3 knots extra boat speed, and if you can stay on it with that extra boat speed, then at some point you'll be able to point straight downwind and convert that extra boat speed directly into VMG towards the mark. So you just saw Fraser there do a big change of direction to try and surf that wave. And you also see me doing the same here. You see how over on the left this wave's really starting to stand up there. And now I've gone straight towards the steepest part. And as soon as I've hit that steep part of the wave, you see me bearing away to then use that, stay on like that steep part and use it to make ground towards downwind. And so now I'm going back towards the steep part to try and build speed again. I'm surfing here, little adjustment of my body weight forward to kick the boat down the face of the wave. And now I've sort of milked that wave in as much as possible in that direction. And so now I'm going to have to change direction back to more of a reach angle now to get back towards where the wave's steepest and has the most power in it. See Fraser using that drop pump pretty effectively there. So yeah, that was the first clip. I'm gonna go on to the second one now, where it's a little bit windier, waves are a bit bigger, and you'll see even more sort of drastic angle changing to make sure that we stay on the waves and keep surfing. Now with the second clip, you'll see that the waves are bigger, it's a bit windier, and there's now 3 of us. So we've got 2 full rigs, myself without the sail numbers, and then Fraser here in the middle. So you can see now how big these waves are, and how much potential there is to gain from these waves. And so you see Fraser now, he just threw in a jibe as soon as he caught this wave. And when you're in really big ocean swell, that's something that is actually viable and like quite common. So if you're on a really, really big wave and it's going in a direction which isn't in line with the wind, say for example you're on port like Fraser was there, and you've got this wave which is coming and it's going sort of towards the right looking downwind, then instead of trying to go by the lee with the wave, it might actually be better to get on the wave, jibe over, and then just reach along with the wave, because when you get a wave that size, the extra boat speed you gain is easily going to make up for the angle you're losing, and just being able to stay on that wave for as much as possible is going to be like a massive gain downwind. Okay, so you see me here now. I've just got on this wave and you'll see that it's starting to stand up a bit towards the right of me. So I'd be looking around here and I'd really hope that I'm going to see myself go by the lee, because now with this wave I can push hard by the lee, make ground downwind while still surfing, which is like the optimal basically. So you can see how big some of these waves are here. I just fell off that wave there, but now I have another big face standing up right behind me, which I'm going to stay on, and you can see how to the left here it's still going. So at this point I want to come in this direction just to stay on that wave and keep surfing. And now it sort of opens back up to my right, and I go back by the lee a bit to get back onto the steepest part of the wave. And see there, I'm just throwing in a jibe right when I'm at the top of the wave, and I'm surfing straight down the face after the jibe, which is really how you want to time those jibes if you are going to try that. You want to be just as the wave's picking up the stern of your boat, you jibe, and then you'll be on the new angle heading straight down the face of the wave and like surfing at maximum speed basically. So yeah, that was the second clip. The main point is that in big swell, the speed gains that you get from surfing and surfing for a long time are really massive. So your priority should be looking for the biggest waves around you and doing whatever you can to catch or stay on that wave, assuming that you have enough power in the rig to actually surf them. If this was 8 to 10 knots, for example, this would be a completely different ball game, because at that wind speed, your boat isn't really capable of going fast enough to catch the waves. So by doing these big angle changes, you're just going to be wasting a ton of distance for very little gain. But when it's windy enough, like we've seen in these two videos, you can easily surf waves, so that should be the priority when it comes to the downwind and maximizing downwind speed. So that's all for this video. Thanks guys for watching. Let me know if you enjoyed this, and if you enjoy this format. This is the first one of this type that I've done. I've got a couple of other ideas for topics that I might cover in future videos like this, but let me know in the comments if there's something you're struggling with your laser sailing, and I'll try and make a video covering that so that you guys can get the most out of this channel. So yeah, that's it. Make sure you like, subscribe and comment, and hit the notification bell if you want to stay up to date with when I post.